The bad boys are back on Zeus, and this time they are in Texas, okay? The auditions were in Houston, but the show this season is set in Texas, and they already fought. Yes, Jonathan jumped Anthony uncensored, and Chef D jumped in and got Anthony uncensored, and Arabanga, he don't like it. And in all of this whole commotion, we have the iconic razb for B2K and the infamous Orlando Brown. That's right, Orlando Brown, the Disney kid from That's So Raven, is a cast member of Bad Boys Texas. But there are no white people on the show this season. I just want to say that. Yeah, we're going to get into it. Good morning, everyone. Yes, honey. Yes, I had to say yes, honey, because this is just too much. So I saw Bad Boys Texas last night. And when I tell you it was ratchet, it was ratchet. So I'm not going to go into the whole details of everything. I'm just going to give you like the most important, notes of this. And we're going to start with the beginning of the episode. Natalie Nunn is in Lima, or they say Lima, Ohio. And they call it Lime. But she's there to do business. So she's there because she sprung out the one and only Orlando Brown out of jail. So she paid for his bail, and she said she spent 25 bands to get him out. So what occurred is that because she ended up, posting the bail, he had an ankle monitor on him. And he was able to just, instead of having to do like drugs and community service, he just had to go for a mental health evaluation. She's like, yeah, because when you pay the judge all that money, that's what happens. And so he's happy. He's wilding out. He's being Orlando Brown. Then he pretty much flies out to Texas and he meets the rest of the guys. And he rolls up on, one of those fancy, cars. Those special cars, those racing cars, so to speak. And then you see all the other men come out there, including razb, Prince, Mo City, D, Big Lou, Ara, Anthony Uncensored, Carry On, Relly, and my favorite, Jonathan. Okay? Now, Natalie, I'm going to say this. I don't care what nobody say. I think Natalie is a madam. I said it. Natalie is a madam. Okay? I don't trust Natalie with a can of paint. I believe she goes to Dubai. I believe she goes to other places and not only gets her freak on, but I believe that Natalie also procures people when she's on, baddie saying, we're going to get to the bag. That's like a whole word, not just for, getting to the bag to perform, but it's like, we're going to get to the bag and do some other things that are illegal. Because if you notice, she's always treating Scotty like trash. Like, I don't respect you. Like, it's not like I don't like you. You're cool. You're my friend, but I don't respect you because look at what you do to be around me. You degrade yourself to be around me. You understand? But with Krishan, no, you can say whatever you want about this girl, about her drinking, smoking. They say she's smoking while she's pregnant. I don't know. But the one thing you can't say is that she's a prostitute. You can't say that about her. So anyway, I just wanted to make note of that. And so already after Natalie is talking with the guys, we see Jonathan just jumped Anthony. And then after he had his, one-on-one, D came in and just jumped in. Chef D came in and jumped Anthony Uncensored. And the reason why Anthony Uncensored and Jonathan are looking friends, and this makes sense, and I agree with Jonathan. Jonathan said Anthony is hanging out with the ops now, and the ops is Rio Scott. So Rio Scott was on last season, and he was a friend of the one and only Milan Christopher. And on the show, it was set up for the guys. Rio was there to fight. And Jonathan was there not just to fight, but he was going to be introduced to the next season, okay? Which was going to be Texas. But it turned left because Rio got hit with a chair in his head by Jonathan. Because supposedly Rio was doing too much. And it wasn't supposed to go down the way it did. So Anthony Relly and the other guy who was gender fluid, I can't think of his name, they let Jonathan in to beat up Rio Scott. Now, Jonathan and Anthony, they was cool going back before the whole Bad Boys on Zeus show because they're both from Texas. So Jonathan's thing was, okay, I get it. You're a club promoter. You make money. But why would you bring Rio Scott into your club when you know I don't deal with this dude? You know he's ops. So if you're going to, have him in your club and you're going to make money with him or have him there to help you make money, you can't be around me. That's just all. But instead, Anthony was supposedly talking shit and saying, it's my club. I'm not scared to make money. I'm not going to stop me. I'm not going to not bring somebody in my club because you don't like them and stuff, blah, blah, blah. So Jonathan was like, to hell with it. When I see you, it's on site. And it surely was. Now, D Chef's thing is, you've been talking ish about me for years on the gram. And now that I finally see you in person, I'm going to get my one-on with you. That's just that. So that was a separate issue. And then you have Relly B, who is in the middle of all of this situation because he's friends with both. And his thing was, I get it. They fought. Jonathan's got beef with Anthony because, I have my issues with Anthony right now. But I don't think it was fair that, Chef D came in and, jumped on Anthony. Let Jonathan and Anthony have their one-on-one. And then after that, then you do your one and keep it separate. But don't jump into something that don't have nothing to do with you if you didn't initiate it in the beginning. And I totally agree with with Relly on that. Because I felt as though, and this is my thing, if I got an issue with you and another person got an issue with you and our issue is separate, it has nothing to do with the other, I'm not going to jump in and fight you after somebody else fighting you. I'm into the one-on-one. Okay, I don't do that jumping. I don't believe in that. Okay, now if it's meaning you got an issue and it's separate, and I see you and it's on site, and I just go in and I'm just like to hell with it, bitch. That's different. But my whole thing is, if I'm doing a one-on-one with someone, you don't come in into my one-on-one and attack because my issue and our issues with this individual is separate. That's how I roll, okay? It's all about ethics when it comes to me, okay? So you got these other guys there, like Prince, and this is the problem I have with Zeus. You getting these rejects from Love and Hip Hop. All right, now I'm going to make this clear. I do not think for any doubt that Bobby Lice is a reject. I think he actually helped the network because that show was very, very entertaining. I have to say, I love you, Bobby Purr. That was funny. But to me, Prince, you're coming on Zeus and excuse me, you was on Bad Boys and you had an audition. For you to come from Love and Hip Hop, you shouldn't even had to audition because I think he was on there for like 2 or 3 seasons. That didn't make sense. So to me, I feel as though that, I just think that he's one of those people that's on there to just, keep his name active. And I just think that's just, getting these Love and Hip Hop rejects. That's not the look of it. Now, Big Lou is from Miami-Dade. All right, I don't know where he's from exactly, but he's known as Banger. I remember him as Banger. Most City, I think, is going to be the breakout star. I think he's going to be a breakout star. Now, I think he's the only one in the group, but, that's questionable with Prince. I think he's the only one in the group that is certified straight besides Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown is off the mental. He's not there mentally. But Orlando Brown isn't gay. razb isn't gay. Is he straight? There have been some people that have doubted that, and it has nothing to do with the whole claims of Chris Stokes, and I'm going to get to that. It has to do with some things like during the 2000s era, late 2000s, coming into the 2010s, more so the 2010s. Big Lou, I think he's Jamaican because he says Wagwan a lot. I think he might be, bisexual. I don't think he's totally gay, but I think he's bisexual. Banger is gay. Relly is gay. Anthony is gay. Jonathan, I don't know if Jonathan is gay. I don't believe he's straight, but I don't think he's gay. But if he's gay, then, he's a very masculine gay dude. I gotta say, he fights like a man. He don't switch. I mean, he's just, he do hair and he's very good at it. What I predict of this season, I think, and Carry On said he's not straight. I think he's bisexual, and he goes through a lot with that because of his father. I believe that the breakout star of this season is going to be Mo City. Okay? And I think Banger, Believe It or Not, and D. I don't think it's going to be Prince. I believe that razb and Orlando Brown are going to clash because they have something in common. They were both child stars. They're the only two that were child stars in the entertainment industry. And they have a connection. Orlando Brown has a connection to razb because razb's brother was his manager. If you remember back in 2008 when razb said that the aliens had abducted him and kidnapped him and took him to the secret location and lobotomized his brain. They lobotomized his brain, right? And he was like sniffing and he was like sweating profusely. His manager was Ricky Romance. Ricky Romance is razb's oldest brother. So there's this weird thing, and Zeus does this on purpose to get people there who are interconnected with one another. And so Orlando and razb are that. And razb can't deal with Orlando. And I don't blame razb because razb, this is a man who did the exposing before Orlando did it. And when razb did it, he was clear in thought. And razb has something that Orlando doesn't have. His life was threatened. They tried to kill him in China. He was on the run. He had to leave China when he was living there and performing. And he went to China to escape the gangs that was after him, the goons that Chris Stokes hired. I mean, he's been through a lot. And so when he told Orlando to shut the fuck up, I totally agree with him. But Jonathan's got a beef on that with razb. Like, why you yelling at him? Why yelling at him? But they don't know razb is an icon in his own right because he stood up for all the victims that was going through what they went through with Chris Stokes. Shout out to razb. He's a real one. Okay? Because he tore down an empire. And he's like people from back in the day who shall remain nameless right now. But I'll get to that in another time. Okay? That's right. And it ain't a man, it's a woman. I'll talk about that later. Y'all can figure it out, but I'll talk about it soon. But on that note, I'm going to get ready to go to work. But this is going to be a hot mess. I'm not going to say I'm here for it, but I'm here to report on it. Natalie Nunn ain't shit for this, But I do think that this group is more cohesive, but it's not going to be as fun. This season is going to be more violent. So with that being said, I'm signing off. Thank you for listening. I'm getting ready to go to work. Take care. Toodles. This is my review. And if you notice how I review it, I'm not doing it by scene by scene. I'm just giving my opinion of the whole episode. Because I can't do what some of them do. Because kudos to y'all that could break it down scene by scene. Like Spiller Boy TV. He is a genius at it. I just can't do it like that. I just have to give a synopsis of it. But toodles, I see y'all later. Take care. Have a good one. To all my NYC folks, let's get up and make this money, honey. Because you know how expensive NYC is. We got to pay the bills.